Welcome folks, it's Andrew from iDownload with iOS 10.1 Beta 2. iOS 10.1's biggest notable feature is portrait mode. Now this is a feature exclusively available to the iPhone 7 Plus because it has those dual cameras, and it just allows you to take really great portrait photos, kind of replicating depth of field. If you'd like to learn more about portrait mode, at the end of this video, we have a full in-depth video going into all the features of depth mode in iOS 10.1. Moving on to Beta 2, now there's a few different things that are kind of annoying in iOS 10.1. First off, these full screen animations or the bubble effects, there's no really way to replicate them or replay them. You could close the application and reopen it again, but that was kind of annoying if for whatever reason you needed to replay those effects. Also very annoying is if you had reduced motion on, so if you go to general accessibility and then reduce motion, if you had this enabled, full screen effects and bubble effects wouldn't work. You could not send them, you could not receive them, so you kind of lost out on all of those cool features of messages if you had those features enabled. And a lot of people did have reduced motion turned on for battery savings or whatever the reason may be, but it was definitely a disadvantage. I could send that, this would just be a simple text. I would try to send it with the bubble effect or something, but it wasn't even an option. So just kind of a letdown for those people. If you were sent a message with a bubble or a text effect, it would just say in plain text like sent with slam or sent with fireworks. So definitely not the best option for anyone who had reduced motion turned on. And the third kind of minor issue that we saw in iOS 10 had to do with those message extensions, those message apps. And you notice here the little categories and like the recent icons in that bottom left hand corner, they're definitely overlapping. So if you have a lot of sticker packs or extensions here, they would start to kind of overlap in those areas, both on the left and on the right. They would go behind those other icons. So all three of those things have been fixed inside of iOS 10.1 Beta 2. So first of those kind of inconsistencies in iOS 10 was lack of being able to replay any of those animations or bubble effects. Now a little replay button has been added underneath any message that has any of those effects. So I have the fireworks here that somebody sent me. There's a little replay button underneath. I can tap that, and again the animation will just keep replaying. So just a little nice way to see those animations again if you'd like to. As far as inside of the app drawer goes here, or the messages app drawer, is instead of that pagination on the bottom, we have a simple scroll bar. So as you're going through all of your different apps or extensions that you have installed, when you swipe, there's just a little scroll bar instead of those dots that was that pagination before that was kind of having issues with a lot of apps installed. And lastly, if I head back into settings, I turn on, go to general accessibility and turn on reduced motion. Previously in iOS 10, in the first beta of iOS 10.1, with that enabled, I couldn't do anything. Now they are on and I can actually type out a text. I can say, hey, and I can send it with any of those cool bubble effects or full screen effects. So those are now enabled for anyone who has reduced motion turned on. So let us know in the comments down below what you think of these changes coming in iOS 10.1. Are there any big changes that Apple left out that you would have liked to see? Please go ahead and subscribe, check out all of our other videos, and until next time, it's Andrew for iDownload Blog.